All right. All right, so let's jump into today. So today is a topic that I have been getting questions about over and over and over, probably for the past, I would say, 3 years. And I have been working to put together some opportunities and working with some developers out here because there are some really amazing things happening. And so I wanted to share with all of you guys because so many of you have asked about how do I invest like in the Caribbean? Like, oh my God, I love the lifestyle that you have. I would love to have, a beach property out there that I can put on Airbnb, make money throughout the year, and then come and have a place where I can come for about a week, a month out of the year, something like that. And so I was running from this. I was like, I'm not trying to do nothing with no properties, But in the end, there's so many people who want it, and we do have the information. So I want to share it with all of you guys. About a year ago, I actually helped a member of this team to get her property here in the Dominican Republic. We actually helped her to secure a property for less than $100,000, a 2-bedroom condo that has resort access to the beach, on the beach that's close to her apartment. And we have been managing it on Airbnb for her, And so I know there are a lot more people who want those kind of opportunities. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the Dominican Republic. And if you're like my mother, who the first time I said I'm moving to the Dominican Republic, she said, "What's that?" The Dominican Republic is actually the largest island in the Caribbean. All right. The largest island in the Caribbean. They share the island with Haiti. I actually live in the city of Punta Cana, which is a tourist destination. But one thing about the island, there's a lot of development happening. So they're opening up, clearing land. They're doing a lot of things for other people who really want to own property at the beach and have clear blue water, white sand, all right, as well as a lot of times these opportunities are a lot less, than if you were buying property in the United States of America. All right, so first and foremost, why is buying land and property a good investment? I think that's a thing to look at, because I know for a lot of us, we joined this space because we wanted to get into crypto, right? We wanted to understand the crypto market, how it works. We wanted to get those easy gains. I want to double my money in 6 months, things like that, right? So when you think about property and land, this is generally going to be for the long haul. This is a long haul investment. This is more about creating generational wealth. This is when you buy land, you buy a property, these are things that you can not only live in, create an income from it, but also you can pass it down to your kids, other people in your family, and you can actually start to create generational wealth. And so that's why no matter what kind of investments you have, and one of the things we always preach here is you do need to be diversified, right? So you want to have stocks, you want to have crypto, you want to have land, property, things like that. Because what was that passage that we would always say that the Bible says? You always want to have 7 streams of income in case one dries up, right? And so I think right now we're definitely seeing that is so important. Okay, so first and foremost, land ownership is always a valuable asset. Oprah is famous for saying, somebody asked her, "What's your favorite thing to buy?" And she said, "Land, because there's never going to be any more of it." So land is one of the few things in the world that for the most part, the value is going to continue to go up. Okay, it's continuously appreciating. And even I know a lot of people are scared about the upcoming housing crisis and things like that. But when it comes to certain properties, for the most part, you keep seeing an appreciation in value. And when I talk about like vacation rentals and things like that, okay? Let me go to the next slide right here, okay? The other thing, why the Dominican Republic, right? Why the Dominican Republic? Not just because I'm here, but I mean, honestly, because we do have a lot of opportunities out here on this island. The Caribbean in general is beautiful. The Caribbean in general is a great place to get great beach property for a lot less than what it would cost you in the United States. The Dominican Republic is also the top tourism destination in the Caribbean. All right. And out of the entire Caribbean, the city that most tourists come to is Punta Cana, right? And for those of you guys, there's several of you on the team who you've been here, you guys know this is really a small town. So when you think about 7 million people coming on vacation here every single year, That's pretty significant, okay? And so, like I said, for a lot of the reasons why people are buying property out here is because if you try to go to California, even South Carolina, if you're trying to get something on the beach, usually you're talking about, I used to live in California, it was $1 million, right? To buy anything that was beach property. And so you actually get the opportunity to do it here, even if maybe you're just, a normal person, right? So we're going to talk about 3 different locations today that you guys can start taking a look at, and that if you have questions about, I can help you with. Number 1 is Punta Cana. Like I said, the number 1 tourist destination in the Caribbean. Mostly in Punta Cana, you're going to find a lot of vacation rentals being built right now. So you're going to see a lot of condos. It's a little bit harder to find houses here. They do have houses in this area and more people are building, but when it comes to getting close to the beach, most developers are actually doing condos because they know a lot of people are going to be using that properties for Airbnb. Okay, so we'll look at that. In Samana is actually where I had my honeymoon. Absolutely beautiful. I'll show you some images, but we actually have a place there that's currently being built by an African American. All right, actually, Punta Cana, the number 1 developer is an African American woman from Texas. All right, the person doing the Samana, she's actually African American woman as well. Okay, building a golf course with some amazing investment opportunities. And then we're going to talk about Barahona, which is my husband's hometown, which is a great opportunity. And I'm going to be helping the developer out there, just helping people to know more about that area. All right, so first of all, let's look at Punta Cana. All right, condos and Airbnb opportunities starting at about $70,000. Okay, so couple of things when it comes to Punta Cana. Punta Cana is known for having the longest white sand coastline of anywhere in the world. Punta Cana is going to be more developed in the way that we like as Americans and North Americans, for those Canadians on the call. They've got parks, they've got spas, zip lining, fishing, anything that you could ever want. Again, we get most of the tourism here that comes to the Dominican Republic. A lot of people, generally their first time they come, they're going to stay in an all-inclusive resort, but when people come and they like it, then they'll start to stay in Airbnbs usually, and that's where Airbnb people make a lot of money. There's also 8 golf courses in Punta Cana, and one of the great things about Punta Cana is that there are direct flights from 26 different countries. The hospital staff here is multilingual. I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple months ago I had surgery here. And one of the reasons why I decided to have surgery here was because the doctors there are required to speak English. So for me, I really like that. And then Punta Cana is currently building Kathmandu theme park. So there's a theme park coming. So like even when we were helping our team member to purchase her property here, one of the reasons why we bought hers where we did was because it's about a block or 2 away from that new theme park and where it was being built. And so we're like, a lot of families going to be looking for a place to stay when they come to the theme park. All right, so here's just a couple of things that are available with the developer here that we're working with. Okay, all right, so one is called Palm Coast. All right, this condo development includes a swim up pool. How many of you have ever been in a resort that had a swim up pool? It is something that you will never forget. To walk outside your door and there's a pool, I can just swim, just get into the pool, right? So they have swim up pools. They also have 3rd floor rooftop terraces that contain a gazebo and a half bath up on your rooftop. And so for those people, like for us, having a rooftop is awesome. People love having rooftops up here. So you'll understand a little bit more. These are all 2-bedroom, 2 bathrooms, okay? And so these are broken down by the floor. The 2nd floor is the one that doesn't have as much because the 3rd floor has the rooftop and the 1st floor has the swim up pool, right? So the 2nd floor is the one that you're just kind of like excited to be there. You get to go in the pool, you don't have the swim up pool, right? So those start, guys, at about $120,000. This is 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo, and that's unfurnished. And then furnished, it's $149,000, okay? The 1st floor that comes with the swim up pools, unfurnished, those start at $150, and then furnished, they are $175. And when we say furnished, Usually, guys, the furniture is going to be pretty like beach standard furniture where it's going to be good for Airbnb, basically. Okay, so some people choose to do furnished condos here because they're like, well, I just rather wrap it all up in the cost and get it done. And some people are like, no, I want to go through the process of actually furnishing my own. Third floors that have the rooftop terrace unfurnished, those go for 145. If you want to add a jacuzzi, yes, on your rooftop, that price is $160,000. Do you guys know that there are some cities in the US where you can't even get a house for $160,000, but you can get beach property, right, in the beach vicinity, not on the beach, right, but in a beach area with a jacuzzi on the roof for $160,000. That's pretty great. Furnished, those go for 175, and with a jacuzzi 190. So no matter how you do it with this location, and this is going to be pre-built, meaning that this is not yet done. You're talking about being less than $200,000, and you can have an actual property that you can put up on the different vacation sites. You can make money off of it, and you can have a vacation home for your family. Sun Village is another development. Now, this one includes 1, 2, or 3 bedrooms. It's actually a little bit harder to find 3 bedrooms here in Punta Cana because, like I said, there's a lot of condos, so it's a lot of 2 bedrooms. So this is pretty cool. They are going to have 2 luxury pools, 24-hour security, and most of the properties that I'm talking about, guys, they all have 24-hour security, just so you know. This one will have a gym, an on-site restaurant, a market, and then they also have property management available. And this one is due to be complete in December of 2025, okay? And one of the great things about the projects that are being built currently is that you can actually reserve them for a small amount, and then they can put you on a payment plan. Okay, so a 1-bedroom unfurnished goes for $90,000. Okay, furnished 110. 2-bedroom unfurnished 106,000. Furnished 130,000. 3-bedroom is 130,000 unfurnished. Okay, and then with the furniture package, it's 170,000. Still pretty great for all of the different amenities that you get with that. This is what the interior of that of what those apartments are going to look like. All right, and then the third one is Maple Beach. And I don't know if the Connollys are on here or not, but we actually took the Connollys to Maple Beach. We had our hard hats on. We actually got to see them building this. It's literally across the street from where I live right now. So you see, this is Maple Beach. I live here. You can't, no, where do I live? Oh, here, no, where do I live? I live somewhere over here, somewhere over here. So I'm like 1 block away from Maple Beach. But they have now gotten to the 3rd phase of this. So there are people actually living there now. Like, this is basically completed, and the beach is literally right there. Like, literally we walk out, go to the left, and then 1 block up, and we're at the beach. All right, so this one includes 1 and 2 bedrooms. Now, this is what I love about this development and the way that they thought about it, okay? Because they knew people were gonna wanna make money off of this. So imagine if Shamika buys a property here, right? And she buys a 2-bedroom and says, I'm gonna put this on Airbnb or VRBO, I'm gonna hire somebody to manage it for me while I'm in Louisiana running my franchise and my investments, right? But when me and the kids come, you know, we wanna take 2 weeks and live there and just be able to spend time. I wanna go to the beach, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? For those 2 weeks, guess what? Her house is off the market, so she can't make any money off of it. What Maple Beach did, they made 2-bedroom apartments that can actually be 2 1-bedroom apartments. They have a dividing door to where each side has a small kitchen, okay, has a bathroom, and has a bedroom. So even if Shamika, well, let's not say with the kids, but if Shamika came by herself and said, hey, I want to come to Punta Cana, hang out, you know, with Tammy for a couple weeks or a couple days, she could stay in one of the apartments and she could still make money off of the second one. You guys see that? So that's the beauty in this project and what they envision for it. It's absolutely amazing. It does come with a luxury pool, 24-hour security. Management is available if you need it for your condo. You can reserve with $5,000 down. And this one, like I said, is literally is right over there. Is walking distance to the beach. Unfurnished, the one bedrooms are 150,000 to 160. And the reason why there's a range is because they differentiate a little bit with the square footage. All right, two bedrooms, they go unfurnished, starting at 283,000 to 278,000. Okay, so I know this is a little bit more than what most of the other places are, but the reason is because literally, guys, we can walk right out and the beach is right there. Somebody had a hand raised. I can't see who it is, but whoever had a hand raised, feel free to unmute yourself.
I believe it's you, Tammy.
I didn't raise my hand. Okay.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. That's hilarious.
That's hilarious. Awesome.
So Tammy, what question would you like to ask yourself?
Why you so crazy, girl? All right, so this is what the interior of Maple Beach looks like. This is the third floor units that actually have the upstairs that go to a patio upstairs. All right, awesome. So hang on one second. I forgot to show y'all the Punta Cana video, but you guys all know Punta Cana, so give me 1 second and I'm gonna show you the next place because most people aren't familiar with the next two places, okay? So I'm gonna give you a quick little video just so you can see where I'm talking about. The next place is called Samana. Like I said, this is where I had my honeymoon. And this is another area of the Dominican Republic. Awesome. I just wanted you guys to see a little bit just so that you could get an idea of what we are talking about. So Samana is a beautiful, beautiful town. Hold on, let me get back to my presentation. It's a beautiful town about 3 hours from the capital. Okay, so it is about a 3 hour drive from or bus ride from the closest airport. Okay, however, the amazing building that's happening down there, it will blow your mind. So right next to Samana is a place called Las Terrenas, and Las Terrenas, if you can go online and look, you can see videos and things like that, and people are basically like, it's almost like little Europe, you know, like a little European town right there on the ocean. It's absolutely beautiful. And so the development that's actually being built out there right now is called Alma de Samana, and it is a golf resort and residences. Okay, one of the great things about this, guys, they're building out the golf course. They're pairing up with the PGA. Why am I mentioning that, guys? Why is that important? If they're partnering up with the PGA, there are going to be people who need places to stay during the tournament, right? Currently, they have purchased 620 acres of land. It is going to be a golf course and a resort community. Right now, they are planning for 1,200 homes. There is going to be an amphitheater. They're building out a restaurant and shop right in that community. There's going to be a sports facility and a village center just for people to be able to come, hang out, and create a sense of community, okay? This is pretty much what the houses are going to look like as they're going to be built in this community, okay? So there's hilltop villas, there's eco villas. The lots and prices are available upon request, okay? And then these are some of the different housing choices that you'll be able to choose from. And this is what they believe that the golf course is going to look like. So no, you're not right on the water, you are a bit back, but because you also have the hilltop, there is a chance that for some of the locations, you can still have some ocean views, okay? Awesome. These are what some of the other homes are going to be expected to look like once they start being built. This is what the actual hotel is going to look like. And then these are what the tennis courts. So right now, nothing is built there. So you're getting in on the ground before anything happens. And what they're doing right now is selling the lots so that you can buy the lot for your home if you're interested in doing that. All right. All right. So the last location we're going to talk about today is where me and my husband just bought land. Woo! So Barahona is my husband's hometown. And so I'm going to allow you guys. Can you guys see my screen right now on YouTube? Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
You'll get to see a little bit about where Barahona is. So this stone right here, they actually use this for jewelry. So if you come to Punta Cana, you'll see people selling this in the jewelry. They'll put this on bracelets, chains, things like that. In Barahona, this is just literally lying on the beach. This was during Carnival. Awesome. All right. So those images of the guys dancing, that's some images from Carnival, or some of the Carnival dancers that they use for this video. Okay. So the great thing about Barahona that I love, so me and my husband are actually we are actually going to be building a bed and breakfast in Barahona. The first time I went to Barahona was 4 years ago, when my husband took me to meet his family, and I told him then it was the most beautiful place I'd ever seen in my life. And I told him, I said, if Americans find out about this, it's over. It's over. Like, they're gonna be moving here like nobody's business, because this is literally like just beautiful. And the great thing about Barahona is that it is right now at this point untouched by tourism. And so for those of us who live here, that's a beautiful feeling, because even though I love living in a tourist area, sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I just want to go to the beach. I don't want to go to the beach and somebody's like, can you buy this? Come to my shop, you know? Or sometimes just going to the beach and there's so many people because there are tourists everywhere, right? Whereas in Barahona, like literally this is the beach my husband and I go to, and it's usually just like this, you know, or just, you know, local people who come from their house, they come to the beach for a couple of hours, It's nice, it's chill, there's no security guards, that it's just chill. The land that my husband and I bought is actually right over here. So overlooking the ocean, okay? So the great part about Barahona that I love is that in a few years, it is going to be a very big destination, but we get the ability right now to help create that without colonizing the people who live there. Now, what does that mean? Sometimes in certain places, especially here in Punta Cana and some of the other big tourist places like Puerto Plata, even Las Terrenas, a lot of times what happens is Americans, Canadians, Europeans, we come into these locations and they start to price it out so much that the locals can no longer come. There are literally beaches in this area where they'll say things like Dominicans can't come here, right? I don't like that. I don't like that. And so what we want to do, when we were buying our land and talking to the property developer, one of the big things that they said was, we don't want this to become a Punta Cana. We don't want it to be where the locals can't enjoy, or the locals feel like this isn't even their city anymore. When my wedding came, my husband's family drove up from Barahona and they came to Punta Cana and they were like, why is everything written in English? This is the Dominican Republic, And so that sense of coming into somebody else's country and then changing it, that's one of the things where we're like, we get the opportunity to make sure that happens. We get an opportunity to make sure that people that look like us can come in and feel comfortable and not feel like other people are, shutting us out, kind of thing. So that's one of the things I love about it, okay? They are currently building an international airport. So what does that mean? It means nobody knows where Barahona is right now, but pretty soon they are, as soon as they open up that airport, okay? So this is an opportunity to get oceanfront property at a much lower rate than you would be able to in other areas of the island. There's an opportunity to create your own community here, which I think is pretty awesome. All right. You also get the ability to purchase lots of land and you can build what you want. So imagine, because right now they're clearing out the beach land, because as you can see, a lot of it is covered by forest, right? So now they're starting to clear out some of this land so that people can actually put property on it, right? So imagine if you and your family were like, hey, let's get together and buy a couple of lots and we can actually create our own community over here and have a vacation spot that we can go to and that we can leave for our kids and the rest of our family, right? The beach lots right now are going from $110 to $150 per square meter. Okay, so that's really good for beachfront. And so that's why we were actually able to go ahead and jump on and get beachfront land. Okay. And one of the things that I'm creating as a way of helping this community is, so instead of being like a lot of these places where Americans come in and we make so much more money than what the citizens of the country make, and so they can't afford to live in places that we can afford to live in order for people to purchase, right, what we're doing is creating what's called the Barahona Fund. And so what that means is that a part of your purchase, a part of that money will be donated to a fund that actually goes back to helping the citizens of that community. It means that what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing scholarships. We're going to be doing grants to help some of the local people to start their own businesses. We even want to do down payment assistance so they can go ahead and buy land and enjoy their community as well. So those are some of the things that I have, in mind as we're going to be helping to develop this area. So I'm very, very excited about it. So with that said, let me tell you about, for those of you who are interested, this is what's currently here. Okay, so the lots that you see that are in blue right here, these are all sold, but the rest of these are all open. The people on the first lot can only build 2 levels. So even if you're in levels behind here, you can build pretty much as high as you want to, because with this, you really can kind of do what you want to do. There is going to be a restaurant, I'm about to say piscina, about to say it in Spanish, a restaurant and a pool area here that will be for the entire community. And of course, like I said, you're right here on this beautiful ocean. All right. So those of you guys who are interested in Caribbean investment, all right? So a couple of things, a couple of questions that you will need to know the answer to. So most places, especially pre-built, if you want to purchase a house that's already built, I know we didn't talk a lot about that today, but there are people who sell houses here that they've lived in and they resell. Those you're going to go more the traditional route. If you're going the pre-built route or you're going the land route, usually you can reserve it with $2,000 to $5,000 as a non-refundable deposit. Okay. Why do they do it as a non-refundable deposit? Because if you come in and put down $2,000 and say, okay, I want to buy this oceanfront lot, and then there are other people who want that property, but then they don't purchase it, they purchase another lot because that one has already been reserved. And then in the end, you're like, oh no, I don't want to do it anymore. Let me have my 2,000 back. Well, they missed out on a customer who could have actually purchased that lot, right? So that's why usually the deposits are non-refundable. But again, it's like $2,000 and you can reserve a home, right? So it's usually $2,000 to $5,000 to reserve it. Currently, right now, we've been going around and talking to different banks to figure out, because one of the big things here was that we would always have people who say like, hey, I want to buy property, I want to buy property. And then we would say, you got cash? Because out here, they don't really do mortgages the way that they do in the US, right? That's a very Western thing. Like usually people save up for years to purchase their house. So in the past, they have been very much used to cash offers, right? So because we do have more Americans, more Canadians, more people who are trying to purchase property, they're now creating some programs. So we've been working with a couple of banks and trying to figure out how can we get people financing, like for real, like how can we get people financing? So right now we have 2 banks that will offer mortgages for 24 years at an 8% rate. Now I know a lot of you are like, what, 8%? Yes, but again, you got to remember, this is a country that they don't really do that. You know, they don't usually do that. As an American, you're going to usually get 60% of coverage, which means you'll have to come up with 40% down payment. There are some programs, again, we can try to work with it, but the most you'll probably be able to get is 80% covered. So that's just something that people should know. The great thing is, because property is so much cheaper here, that 20% or 40% that you're going to have to come up with is a lot cheaper than it would be in the US. All right. So that is something to consider. For pre-builds, normally you're going to pay that reservation fee. That's $2,000 to $5,000. That goes to the price of your home. Okay. It goes to the price of your home. And then usually 20 to 30% for 50% of the completion. Normally it takes about 2 years for them to build out everything. So usually you have a 2-year contract. So yeah, that's what I mean when I say no mortgage. Usually they're used to people paying for the whole thing within 2 to 5 years usually. All right. And so they want you to have 20 to 30% by the time it's completed. I'm sorry, but by the time it's halfway completed. And then at the end, usually you have to have the deposit. You have to have the remainder in order to get the keys. All right. So that's normally how it works with the payment schedule. You do a reservation, you put up 20 to 30%, and then you have the final by the end of the build. So for some of you guys, that might mean like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and put down the 20% and then I'm going to go look for financing. You could do it that way. All right. If you purchase something here in the Dominican Republic for under 150K, after your initial taxes that you pay on the property, you don't have to pay property taxes anymore after that. For some people, that's like, hallelujah. Okay. That's a big, 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 big deal. So one of the things that we try to encourage people is like, listen, if you can find something for under 150, do that. That way you don't have to pay any property taxes. Awesome. All right. So if anything that you guys saw today interests you, or you feel like, hey, I want to learn more, I want you to actually go out and look for some property for me. What I showed you today was just a snippet of what's available, but these are some amazing developers who are building really great properties. I know them very well. And so that's why I felt comfortable bringing them, their information to this call. All right. So if you are interested in any of those things, just let me know the area, what you're interested in. We can start having a conversation and see if there's a way that we can find something for you. All right, so we got 3 minutes. Any questions before we jump off the call?
Those are wild, Tammy.
Huh?
I said, those are wild. Thank you so much for sharing those and for doing all this research.
Oh, you are so welcome. Yes, I was definitely working hard putting it all together. Jen said, how far is this from Punta Cana? I don't know which one you were referring to, but Samana is about a 5-hour drive from here.
Barahona.
Barahona is
Barahona.
about, depending on traffic, is anywhere from 6 to 8 hours from here.
Okay.
But if you are going to be flying in and going to Barahona, right now you would fly into Santo Domingo. You wouldn't come into Punta Cana because you would be coming way out of the way. You would go to Santo Domingo. It's about 3 hours away from Santo Domingo, but they are building an international airport that'll be ready in, I don't know exactly, but I'm guessing probably about 5 years. The international airport will be there.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Ooh, Pastor Connolly said the median home price in Denver is $554,000. Wow, it's crazy. It's amazing. All right, awesome. All right, I think we got all the questions. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Have an amazing week, and we'll be back next week with another cool investment. So let me know, guys, if there are other things that you guys want to know about. That really helps take some of the pressure off. I'll be happy to do any research that you need me to do. All right, thanks, guys. Have a great night. Bye.